Hello everyone, welcome back to the Road Dog podcast. I'm Dr. Mukund. As you already know, today let's deep dive into this fascinating topic that so many people have so many questions, doubts, confusion, a lot of things that's revolving around marriage and commitment, the reality and expectations, which is very fascinating these days because things have changed a lot. So, with no further ado, let's just deep dive into it and unpack everything. The fascinating part of this marriage and commitment thing. All right. Okay, let's start. The fantasy of marriage. Ooh. I know many people has grown up that they have the something they have this fantasy version of how marriage should look or should have, like, because our whole childhood and everything is like, if you watch any movie, drama, shows, this, that, whatnot, and everything is like two people will fall in love or they meet somewhere and they get married and then they live happily ever after. That's the movie concept kind of a marriage. Right. Let's just roll back into the reality a little bit. But real life doesn't end at the wedding, isn't it? In fact, the real life actually begins after the wedding, right? Because let's just get into the brutal reality, okay? Honeymoon phase will end eventually after like 1 or 2 years or maximum 3 years. It just fades away, and then responsibilities increase, like every single day. Bills appears, families gets involved, careers gets involved, life happens, and suddenly marriage will become less about romance and more about partnership, isn't it? And that's when the difficult parts of each person's will come together at every phase of life, and that's when the real game begins, right? I know it's funny because there are many people. When I was used to work, right, we had like married people and all, and medical field is the one of the best field to notice how marriages are broken, because you see the reality of everything, like literally you see the world in the medical field itself when you start practicing it in the hospitals. So you see the brutal versions of it, you see the bad versions of it, you see the good versions of it, everything. I'm not, like I said, my whole podcast is not to stick to one positive thing or negative thing, rather than just to focus on all sorts of things that comes with it. Whether you are ready for that or not is up to you. You have to evaluate yourself. But this is just a thoughtful conversations. It will help someone to make their life a little bit easier, right? So in that, you will, in medical field, you see a lots of positive things, negative things, mostly negative, and you will be amazed by the number of cases you see that there was a situation where one of their partner didn't even come to the hospital because they had some issues, and this patient or whatever, they were in life and death situations, yet their ego is too big. Like they held in a marriage like more than 25 plus years, but yet here we are. So when you see such kind of things, then, and also there are good things too. Like, I am mostly a little bit tilted over negative things because if everything goes well in anything, then we don't need to have this such a discussion as well. Because if it is all positive, hey, life is good, life is all happy, happy, then good. It's happy. You're happy. Good. Wonderful. Excellent. But the problem comes when negative things happens to people. And that's when people lean towards suggestions or how to navigate in this situation and so on and so forth. These things come up, and that's when my podcast or my thoughts, suggestions will help you a lot more better to understand yourself, to understand deeper. You will get some sort of knowledge from this, and that's why my podcast was born. That was the thought behind when I started this. I am very happy that my discussions are really helping one way or another to so many people out there. I'm really thankful for this opportunity. But yeah, and coming back to our topic, yes, there is a positive side of a thing and negative side of a thing, and like in general in life to anything, there will be the positive side of a thing and also the negative side of a thing, no matter what. Even our brain has like two lobes. And even in Japanese culture, they have yin and yang, kind of a positive thing and negative thing. Yeah, we try to do our best to tend to the positive side of life, but life always doesn't happen in such a way, isn't it? So that's why I will not tell you whether it's good or bad. I will give you all the insights, but you have to make your own decisions in the end. Okay? Keep that in mind. I think it's raining now. Oh yeah, it's raining, dude. Wonderful. Man, to be honest, this is summer, peak summer here in where I live right now. Yet the weather is very unpredictable these days. But yeah, I am deviating from the topic again. So let's come back. So this fantasy of so-called marriage, it hurts you a lot more if you have expectations regarding your marriage. Because the moment you have, my marriage will look like this, my marriage gonna be like that, nothing, guys. I need to break it down to you, especially to my male followers. I know majority of them are males, specifically in that age group where they want to hear what's actually happening in life. And guys, I'm gonna tell you, I know women also have their responsibilities. I'm not gonna say they don't have anything or any such thing. I'm not gonna do that. But for the guys, this is for the guys. The moment you take marriage on your head, okay, no matter what happens, your life will hit substantially worse. Yeah, because the moment you take that marriage and keep it on your head, okay, now you have to bear it until you die. Even if you die, you still have that responsibility of carrying that. Yeah, it's not a joke. Marriage is not a joke. Why I'm telling is, my parents are suggesting me to get married since 22 years. Yeah, when I finished everything and came back to my parents' house, all the education, everything I've done, my parents started like, do you wanna get married? At 22. And I'm a guy, by the way. At 22, a marriage. I'm like, Mom, I'm, and Dad are like, something didn't. Am I the one who is hearing this, or you are really telling me or suggesting me to get married? They're like, yeah, you get married, what happens? I'm like, really? I said no. And they did not pressure me much, but whenever they have time, they consciously or unconsciously slightly bring the topic. Because you know what happens to them, it is like our responsibilities are done once we get married. Yeah, your responsibilities are done. How about my responsibilities? Now I have to take someone else's responsibilities on my head, which I'm not interested at this point of time. Maybe after few more years, maybe that's a different story. But at this point of time, no. Because I weighed all the pros and cons of marriage and I felt like it's not worth my time. My personal way. But I'm not suggesting all to everyone. There are happy marriages and there are people, uh, they are way, way, way happier in their marriage. But so far, all I saw so far in my life is complete negativity towards the marriage. That includes my own parents' marriage as well. Yeah, because they are not perfect as well, no one is. But entire family people I have seen from my father's side, uh, it's not great. There are all negative sorts of things. And also my mother's side of the family too, not so great. All negative sides of thing. And people I interacted, all those things in my field also, it's not great. So basically, I have seen only the negative part for the larger quantity of life, and I also seen a positive side of the marriage as well. But the ratio, I mean, I do little bit of research here and there as well, and also I talked with newly married people, and I even attend in these few days. I am even attending few marriages to see how they are actually thinking. And did you hear the sound of thunder? Yeah. So all those things, I came to conclusion already based on evidence that not worth the headache. At least what I have seen, what I have learned. Maybe I can change my mind in the future. That's a whole different story. But at this point of time, no, 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 not so great. Not so great. And even especially I'm from medical field, so I know a lots of things that I cannot tell you on camera. Because oh man, I have crazy stories around this infidelity, cheating, and all those stuff, crazy ones. But I cannot talk on camera because they are not even worth discussing at all. So yeah, I have to change my recording setup because it was raining, thunderstorms outside, and electric outage happened, guys. So that's why the change of location. God knows how much time this backup gonna run. But before that, I will try to record this for you all. So where were we? Oh yeah, yeah. Life happens, and suddenly marriage becomes, uh, it becomes less about a romance and more about the partnership kind of a thing, and that needs a lot of, you know, efforts from the both ends. Okay, let's talk about love versus commitment. One thing that I have learned is that love and commitment are not exactly the same thing. Love is just often a feeling that comes and goes, won't stay for much longer. But commitment is kind of a decision that we have to take and stand on that. Feelings do change, moods do change, circumstances change, but commitment is the only thing that's choosing to stay aligned with our values even when life becomes difficult. Many people enter relationships because of, chemistry, like things are working. So might be the good one or this or no, maybe not, so on and so forth. But long-term relationships, I think it survives on commitment. Yeah, that's what I think. Because I like to keep uh, things very practical, you know. There are so many people entered into my life, and there are so many proposals I got from women, a lot. I know being a guy, being a man, you get proposals from the woman. It's very rare, and I get that a lot. Being a man, getting proposals from the initiation from the woman, it's like top notch. But the problem is, the moment I tell I have certain problems in the long run, all these people who was like, wow, we gonna be there no matter what, this and that, I'm gonna be standing before you, all this nonsense, they just fade away like boom. Yeah, they just fade away like, that's when it's just a temporary feeling rather than a long-term commitment. Because when someone, not just me and anyone, this is for applicable for anyone who's listening, when one of the partner is in a difficult situation and then the other person chose not to be in their life for whatever reason, that tells everything about today's world, isn't it? It's true. It is what it is, and we have to accept it. I know when it comes to our parents' generation, things were very different. They were like all our like sort of arranged marriage kind of a thing. They go, they get married, and they just stay there whether they like it or not. They're like, we married, we got married, we gonna stay there. Alright. Whether we like this marriage or not is completely not in our hands, but we're gonna be there, we're gonna do that, and they're gonna just stay there in that so-called marriage, right? But that's not how things in modern days really work, isn't it? Things doesn't actually work that way anymore, right? And that's why especially guys need to be very careful when you decided to get into the marriage kind of a thing. I mean, I have asked many people who got married, like, what were your expectations? And did it at least a certain part, did it reach your expectations? And most of the guys answered it, nah, it didn't. No, it never did. It's not. Some people even told me like, I did not even, after 10 years of marriage, I did not even feel like 10% of what my expectations are met. That's a serious problem right there, man. It is. And that's what people need to understand. Like, once upon a time, things were very different. And I agree on that. Like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or 30 years ago, things were very, very, very different. But right now, things are very different than what we can expect. So, guys, think before getting into this marriage. Because nowadays I think there is not just I'm saying it for the sake of saying it, but there's been research that's been done in recent times, and most guys, people like us, are not interested in marriage anymore. Because there are various reasons we're gonna discuss in this thing. Expectations that create problems. Let's call that. I think many relationships struggles come from unrealistic expectations. Yes. For example, like expecting your partner to understand everything without communication, expecting one person to fulfill every emotional need, expecting perfection, expecting life to be always feel exciting. Yeah. No human being can meet every expectations every day, people. I mean, especially when we are living in this social media era where everything is constantly being compared with other person's life. Guess what? Whether we like it or not, subconsciously we are just comparing our life with other persons. And we just want that life. We just want this person's life. And so on and so forth. And this creating a friction in relationships or marriage, and that definitely breaking so many marriages to begin with. And when the expectations become unrealistic, then disappointment becomes inevitable. I'll give you an example, small example, okay? Take me as an example about what I'm doing right now. If you had told me back in 2022 that I'm gonna be on YouTube or that I'm gonna do podcasts, that I'm gonna do all these things, I would have been like, what? I would have just rolled down and laughed at all of you for sure, because I didn't had any sort of doing these things until and unless I came back to my country and then started working here. And after working for like few years, and then I just realized, man, I think it's time for me to level up and change, bring the change to the world. Because I just realized that this is too small back in the day. That my current reality is too small. Now I am able to be here and able to be useful for only handful of people or patients, you can call that. But once I change a slight non-traditional way of doing it, now I am in the world view right now, and people from different countries are actually tuning in for what I'm gonna tell and what I'm gonna discuss, and how I'm happily sharing my thoughts and I'm enjoying this process. I mean, like, wow. And to be really honest, I did not make any money out of it yet so far. I made absolutely zero. But yet, every day I feel excited to do the next episode, and when I think about this topic, what to tell, what not to, and that process itself exciting me more than ever. And I feel very, very happy that this happened. I mean, I did not plan this exactly to happen, but life just led me here, and this is one of the most beautiful things. Even though my current life at this point of time is so bad right now because I'm going through a lot of health issues, I'm going through a lot of resources issues like this, my parents' health issues, and so much things are going in background which are not great. Yet I'm fully committed to record, publish it every now and then, no matter what happening in my life. And that's one thing, it's been consistent over all these days that I have done it no matter what. And to be really honest, that version of me that existed in 2022, that did not exist now. Yeah, I mean, like, people might think like And every friend or every person that I had in my life from way longer to now, they don't exist either, because I evolve at a very faster pace than ever. Uh, I grow out of it way faster, and that's also a beautiful part and also a little bit sad part, because now I don't have any old friends or old colleagues or partners or no one, no one. Now it's like completely new. Why? Because my version of me that existed back in the day, that doesn't exist anymore right now. That's the whole thing. Like, people are so worried. Now just imagine, just correlate. Now certain people liked me a lot way back then, and now the same people are very hesitant to walk through this path. Because you know why? This path is very lonely. This path is like the path I chose right now is very hard to sustain, and there is no guarantee this is gonna work, or there is no guarantee this is not gonna work, and very high risk and whatnot. So what happened? I just kept going no matter what happens in life. I just kept recording it, kept publishing it no matter what, and then here we are. Now it's all working now. I can see that. But is it easy road? No. Absolutely not. It was way brutal, man. One of the most difficult phases of my life happened during this phase. Why I'm telling all these things is, just imagine you will get married to a person at some point in life, and you both evolve at the same time, and you might fall apart in that marriage too. It's a possibility, and you need to constantly put efforts and constantly need to evolve as well. If one person don't catch up with you, you might go ahead and they will just drag you down. This happens inevitably, and that is my whole reason why me personally don't want to get married at this point of time. That's my personal opinion, because I have outgrew systems, I have outgrew passions, I have outgrew my previous versions of myself, I have outgrew so many things so far. Literally, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy how my life went from what I what I thought I was needed at that point of time, and right now what I need in life. It's changed. It's just evolved at very very a rapid pace, and I have evolved too. But people around me, they didn't. Then I realized, if I have a vision to carry, then someone is revving motorcycle. I'm a big fan of motorcycles, but thank you, bro. So yeah, and so we evolve, man. We evolve, and people are not ready to evolve, and that's okay. Part of the journey is end, and some things will end no matter what. And I have decided to end so many things with at so many levels. I'm like, my vision is more important. What I am trying to do here is even more important than just sticking to that. Whether they want to stay in my life or not, it's up to them. I gave them the choices. I gave them, whether you want my friendship, whether you want to keep in touch with me, it's up to you. But my life is gonna be very different than other people for sure. I know. Like this t-shirt shows adventurous life, isn't it? That's how my life actually is. That's why this is a custom printed t-shirt, by the way. That's why this is always there. My life will always be an adventurous ride, and not everyone has the guts to carry on with it, and that's perfectly fine. I enjoy my life a lot. I enjoy my life when everything is going great, when everything is falling apart, when everything sounds awesome, not so awesome, good times, bad times, everything. I enjoy everything. So, yeah, then, yeah. So, that you need to keep in mind, and you can correlate this with yourself as well. So, what actually matters? I have to simplify what actually matters most in a long term relationship. I would say these are trust, number one, respect, communication, shared values, shared goals. These top five things, I think these five things are much necessary for sure. It maybe not necessarily have the same hobbies, not necessarily the same personalities, but alignment in things that truly matter and truly enjoy is what I think really most important for me. So check in with yourself, like whether you really have that or your partner really have that or not. Like marriage is not a finish line, guys. I think that's the one of the biggest misconception about marriage is like we all think like it's a finish line. Surprise. It's not. Marriage doesn't magically solve any of the automatically doesn't solve any of the problems. Marriage doesn't automatically create happiness either. Marriage doesn't automatically create maturity either too. If anything, marriage reveals is who we really are, and it's not the end of the journey. It's basically, like I said, it's the beginning of a new one. Like the part of the journey is end, and it's a new beginning. Something has to end, and yeah, that's the modern thing. So let's hit the modern reality, how it's gonna be. What's today's challenges? Today relationship faces so many problems which previous generations never had. Like I already said, social media, constant comparison, unlimited options, instant gratification. People sometimes spend more time comparing their relationships to the others than actually improving their own. You know, a healthy relationship is mostly built between two people when these two people decides to work on them, not thousand people involved in their marriage and then give suggestions to change. Basically, it's not online opinion platform for people to involve in other two people's life, because this is all curated. Like if you look at so-called social media influencers and other people's like these couples and stuff, they are just curated, very much curated. Everything is curated. Yeah, sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't, but it's the truth. It's pretty much curated, everything. So not everyone has the same life. Not everything goes according to that plan. And that's okay, that's fine. That's why you need to focus on your life, your things. And you keep being you, and your partner, let your partner be your partner. And you both try to improve is what I'm trying to tell. Because the moment you start comparing your life with anyone outside of that, man, that's a recipe for disaster. So keep that in mind. I'm gonna give my personal reflection here as well. As I have grown older, my perspective has changed a lot. I no longer think like the goal is finding a perfect person. I think the goal is finding someone whose values align with mine, or my values align with theirs. Someone who can grow with, someone who can communicate with, someone who supports the journey while pursuing their own. That this point itself is the thing. So marriage and commitment, mm, reality versus expectations, right? The reality is that relationships require effort. The reality is that no one is perfect. The reality is that commitment really matters. But the reality is also that meaningful relationships can be one of the most rewarding experiences in life as well. There is also, I mean, good side of it, bad side of it, and we really can't, we really can't tell, or we can, like expect this is going to turn out to be like that, this is going to turn out to be like this. No, not really. You just have to accept as it is, and we have to work on it. Marriages are continuous efforts, continuous work. Those two people need to work every single day, every single minute. Then only those marriages will work. Otherwise, they won't. That's my take, guys. If you want to share your thoughts, you can share it down in the comments down below. And if you are new here, thank you for joining me. I'm going to drop all my social media links in description below. You can check it out, and you can give me a follow. If you like this, you can like. If you share it, good. If you like to follow me, subscribe, do the thing. And if you have any feedback, feel free to comment in the comment sections, and we'll see. This is how I think, and these are my thoughts and reflections. So if you like to share something, then definitely I'm gonna see how life is gonna be to you on the other end. So that's all from my side, and I would like to say one thing, guys. Thank you so much that you people are lovely audience, that I am checking my analytics now and then, and all my followers who's been following from the starting of my journey till now. They've been consistently watching my work or listening my work wherever possible, and thank you very much. I really appreciate your time for tuning in, and I'm gonna definitely come back with good topics in the future, and definitely we're gonna have a good conversations. We'll see where life takes. So far, I'm very thankful and very grateful for this opportunity. And I also noticed that most of the audience are actually from out of my country, which is wow, awesome. Thank you so much for your love, and keep showing your love. I'm gonna bring such a good content to you guys, and we'll see where it goes. Until then, take care, ride safe. This is Dr. Mukund signing off.